Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my fourth alternative card using the October 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Home for the Holidays. This beautiful kit creates 8 handmade cards. There are enough supplies to make 4 of 2 different cards. What I like to do is use the supplies in the kit along with a couple other products and create different or alternative projects. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create those original cards or see any of my other alternative cards, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it up here in the top right corner. This is the card I will be making with you today. I love all of the layers and bold colors. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see me use today, please visit my online store and the link is below in the description. So for today's card, we're going to need a couple things from the kit. We're going to need an envelope. We're going to use that beautiful wreath for this fun element here next to our greeting. You are going to need the long row of houses. We are going to cut this in half. I'm going to use half of it on the card today and then the other half tomorrow. You're going to need another glimmer paper, and this is the only thing that I've used that wasn't part of the original set. So I've already used 2 and I just couldn't not use it. So I'm going to go ahead and use that today. If by chance you don't have any of these left over, you can always use the outside section. So let me show you that really quick. So these little sections here, you could use those instead of using this if by chance you're out of these. These are fabulous. I wish we had a whole nother set of those. And then of course we're going to need one of the small die cut trees. So let's go ahead and cut some things in half. So we're going to cut this tree right here in the middle. So line it up on your paper trimmer so the tip is on the cut line and trim it in half. Like I said, hold on to this for tomorrow's card. For this one, if you want to trim a little bit more off the bottom, you can, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. For our glimmer paper, we're going to just use half of it. So cut it down the center lengthwise by lining it up evenly over that cut line, and then save the other half for tomorrow's card as well. How can you not use more of that beautiful glimmer paper? From the envelope, we're going to cut this out with a circle die, and I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies again. I used those for my card number 3. And so it's just one of those little circles. This one is, let's just measure really quick. It's about 1.5 inches in diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and place that over my wreath and run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So when it's done, it's going to look something like that. So for this card, I thought it would be fun to combine 2 reds. So in the kit, the colors that it coordinates with are Cherry Cobbler and Real Red. And I thought I would combine the two for the card base. So we've got Cherry Cobbler as our card base, and then a piece of Real Red for our card front. And I'm going to use Real Red ink here, and this is the one that did come from the kit. And we're going to stamp the dots around the edge of the Real Red piece. So on my other alternatives, I actually was kind of staying away from the edges and just kind of doing the stamping in the center. But for this one, we are going to stamp right on that center. And you can flip your image around if you want to kind of get a little different look, and go all the way around the whole thing. It does create a really fun border to that cardstock. So let's add some things together. So this Real Red will just go right in the center of the Cherry Cobbler card base. once it's in place. If you're using liquid glue, make sure to smooth it out. I'm going to be using this beautiful vellum pattern paper. This comes from the Basics vellum pack, and it has a kind of a leaf image, which I thought went really nicely with the wreath that we're going to be using as an accent piece. I also used the stripes on my alternative yesterday, and then we're going to be using the dots tomorrow. So I really love this vellum pack and thought it went nicely with the cards from this month's kit. So I'm going to add this next, just off to the left. You can have a little bit of that pattern peeking out, and we just kind of want it to be in the center. Vellum's tricky, so just be aware of, you know, kind of where you're going to add your adhesive and make sure it's going to be hidden behind stuff, okay? Because you don't really want a circle like that showing up. So for the house, we're going to need to place it along an edge because we have this hard edge here. So that's going along the real red edge. And I do want to add that with some liquid adhesive to hold that down. So maybe somewhere like this. Okay. And then you see this hard edge that we cut with that in half? We're going to hide it with our small tree die cut. So to do this, add a little liquid adhesive to the top on the right side of your tree. And then we're going to tuck it underneath. I'm just going to kind of tap a little bit of that adhesive underneath so I can get a little more. And then just line it up. It actually fits perfectly. It looks so good. You barely even can tell that it was cut. Look at how good that looks. Now, if you look closely, some of the lines don't always match, but it's going to be just fine. Nobody's going to even notice that that was cut. So we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals. It will give it some nice, kind of a nice look. I'm going to add one to the top of the roof, and I'm going to place one behind the tree as well. Just like that. I did want to add a little bit of old olive just to kind of bring in that red and green. So I have a 1/4 inch strip. This is just a leftover piece, and I'm actually going to add it right near the bottom of this piece here, and that's going to kind of help it transition from white to red. Don't need a lot of adhesive. I'm just going to place it, a little strip of it right across like that. And we'll angle the ends here in a minute. I'm just going to make sure it's on there nice and straight. There. Okay. Let's go ahead and add our wreath next. I'm just going to put a glue dot, or I'm just going to put a dimensional right in the center. This is going to kind of cover up this opening here. Like that. I like how it's an echo of the wreaths that are on the windows and on the door. I think it's a really great element. Now we can add our glitter paper. You can place it above or below, wherever you want to add it. I'm going to place it maybe right in the center. We need a dimensional here on the right, but we need one on the left. So let's grab some scissors and cut ourselves some dimensionals. I'm actually going to tuck one, I think, underneath here. Let's do it. Let's just pop it right here. I think that will help kind of support everything. Okay. So this goes on. Maybe something like that. So next we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas greeting, or you can do Happy Holidays, but in Versamark, so we can heat emboss it on some Night of Navy cardstock. So I always will do add a little embossing buddy to my cardstock before I heat emboss. And that just really helps keep the powder where I want it. So ink up your image with Versamark, stamp it inside that area, and then take some white embossing powder. I like to keep them in these little trays. And then you just kind of shake it, get it so that it kind of goes all over before tapping it off. And then you're going to heat emboss this. And what's going to happen is it's going to melt and get shiny and then turn into this beautiful image here. And then you can trim that down to about a 1/2 inch strip. And we're going to go ahead and add this to our card. I'm going to just angle the edges to mimic the angle on the glimmer paper. And that's going to get added to our card. So let's place some dimensionals. So I added dimensionals above the glimmer paper, and we just did some half sizes so that they're hidden behind our greeting, which I'm going to add over the glimmer paper so that it kind of just peeks out. I do want to trim the old olive strip to those same angles just to kind of mimic that look. Okay. And then if you still have some of your fun glitter glue, I really wanted to accent the bow. So I'm going to kind of lift up my greeting actually just a little bit so I can get underneath it. I don't need to do the whole thing, but just so that it doesn't look like I forgot all about it. So I'm going to just outline this in glitter glue. So you can see how I've outlined the bow with glitter glue, and when it dries, it's going to just look so beautiful and shiny. It's a really fun, I just love that glitter glue. It's really fun to play with. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create another fun alternative using the October 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to get your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description box below to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.